Hey everyone, April here from aprilmarietucker.com. Today I actually want to talk about some things that have helped me in my business and staying on task, and really I believe wholeheartedly will help you today if you start implementing them immediately. Part of this industry is actually having activity, which always leads to more activity within your business. I'm a firm believer in that. And there's been times where I would procrastinate and I wouldn't do very much in my business, and my results later were not very good. So it's proven, it's tried, and it's proven that any activity that you do today is going to produce activity later in your business. Even if you don't see that activity right now, you will see it later. So I'm just going to give you a few strategies, tips that will really catapult your business to that next level. Things that I implement in my business every single day. And some of you, if you've never been to my blog, some of you may or may not know I use a system. It's called My Lead System Pro. So we are going to go over My Lead System Pro and really how to implement some of the things back there so that you can start getting results in your business. Now, if you're not part of My Lead System Pro, I highly recommend that you check it out because it is what has gotten me to the point where I am today. It is what has literally allowed me to sponsor over 30 people in my primary business in 1 month, win trips, contests, iPads, and go full time in my business. If it wasn't for the internet and the tools that My Lead System Pro gives me, I would not be here today. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't even be in network marketing at all because this was seriously my last hope. So in getting started, I'm going to go over a checklist that's actually back here in My Lead System Pro. So if you're on my team, you can simply log in. Now, these are, to me, are the most important activities. Yes, you should do all 10 of these activities. These are 10 daily steps to fire your boss if you really want to take your business to the next level. But these 4 activities, to me, are non-negotiable, meaning that, they shouldn't be like neglected at all. Like they should be done every single day and consistently if you really want to catapult your business. See, because any seed that you start to plant right now takes 30 days for you to actually start seeing any real results. And this is something that a lot of my students and even myself in the beginning really had a hard time with. It's like I keep on going and I keep implementing these strategies and I want these results within my first day, my first week, I want some sort of result to really prove that I'm on track. But the thing is it takes 30 days, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to implement a new strategy in your marketing, whatever it is, it takes 30 days for that seed to start to sprout, okay? And then to grow into a beautiful flower, it's going to take you, 90 days to, 6 months to really start to grow into that beautiful flower, and that takes consistent effort on your part. So here are some of the 4 major strategies, or not strategies, but things that you should be doing every single day in your business that will really catapult your results. And then I will also show you where you can find some of the information to get further training on this. So you definitely want to be connecting with at least 3 to 5 new quality network marketers through Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is. I actually recommend more. I would say 10 or more if you're full-time. If you're not full-time and you can only devote, 2 hours a day to your business, then 3 to 5 is a good goal for you. But any more time than that, I would say, make it a goal to, and actually set this goal that you're going to connect with 10 new people a day. And that's not going out and pitching them your opportunity, saying, here, join this, blah, 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 whatever it is that you want to throw up on somebody about. That is not that. That is actually building a relationship, making that initial connection, learning about the person, and building a friendship that will last a lifetime, okay? And I love Facebook for that. And if you haven't already, make sure you grab my ebook because I show you I give you a lot of information on how to just do that, okay? Another thing that you want to do is connect with at least 3 to 5 quality people in your existing network. That's going to also be for your follow-up. Maybe you have people that you've talked to about your business. I know a lot of the time for me, I have a hard time making sure that I'm doing my follow-up. That's actually one of my New Year's resolutions, was to make sure that I follow up more consistently, definitely. So that could be, following up. It could be talking to some people in your warm market about your business, talking to people on your team about additional training with My Lead System Pro. So it'd be many things, but it's definitely something that you want to do. A matter of fact, about probably 80% of your day should go to actually connecting with human people, like live human beings, where you're actually talking on the phone, meeting them, whatever it is that you're doing, okay? So it's very, very critical that you do not skip that step, and that's one of the key ingredients to your success in this industry, is actually following the 10 penny rule, which the 10 penny rule, another hot tip for you, is actually to start moving pennies. So what you want to do is, I actually have 10 pennies sitting here in a cup on my desk. What you want to do is take, every time you talk to somebody about your business, move a penny, put it in another cup. And once you've completed that task and you've moved all 10 pennies, then you know that you have done what you've needed to do in your business, and you can actually see the results, okay? And the growth in your business, which is even more amazing. Okay, so we know call your leads. We just talked about that, but that would be number 3. You definitely want to make sure that you're actually calling your leads, okay? You're generating your leads. We're going to talk about how to generate your leads right now, actually. You want to make sure that you're going out there and you're getting leads. If you don't know how to get leads for your business, or you don't have a clue to where to start, then you need My Lead System Pro. It's just critical for your business. You need to learn these strategies, because without leads, your business is dead in the water. You need to constantly be filling your pipeline with new people to talk to about your business. If you're not filling that pipeline, your business, like I said, is completely dead in the water, and you're not able to grow. Okay, so you're not able to actually see that progress in your business. So let's talk about how we're going to go get those leads, because I think I like to teach people how to fish, I think a lot of what's missing, and what was always missing for me, and one of the key things that was missing for me, like when I'd show up for my company's training, they would talk a lot about concept. They wouldn't give me any real strategies. So we talk about how to talk to people about, our company and our products, and we talk about, mindset and all of these things, which are all great concepts, and you need those concepts. You really do. You need those concepts. Okay, they're great concepts to have. But for me, nobody was teaching me how to fish. I'm like, okay, well, where do I find these people to talk to about my business? Once I find them, and I know, I already know what to say to them once I find them, but where do I find these people? So that's what My Lead System Pro is here to do. It's actually here to teach you how to fish, which is so, so important, and was something that is completely lacking in our industry, as a whole. A lot of these companies, they just share concepts, not real strategy. So you are definitely not going to be lacking once you are a part of My Lead System Pro in that area, because now you can really find some real strategy. And this is something that was such a relief for me once I found My Lead System Pro. You have no idea. I was on the verge of quitting. I didn't know what to do next. And I find this is often the case with many people in their business. So you want to make sure that you check out your training strategies. But if you are just starting off, you want to make sure that you click the Start tab, and they say it right here. Please do not skip ahead to these marketing strategies until you've completed the Step 1 Simple Startup. So you want to make sure that that is completed, because you want to make sure that your affiliate links and your autoresponder and all of these great things are set up so that you're actually getting credit for your efforts, and your primary program set up back there, because My Lead System Pro will actually on autopilot promote your primary program to your leads. So you want to make sure that you've got that set up. But after that, you're going to want to pick a marketing strategy. And I would pick 1 or 2 marketing strategies that you're going to start implementing. And that's the key here, in focusing on. I wouldn't go any more than that. If you're full-time, I would do 2 for sure. I would start implementing them and you'll see progress in your business. There's no doubt in my mind within 30 days at the least. But you want to make sure that you stay focused. Now, if you decide that you're going to pick 5 strategies and you're going to conquer them all, it's not going to work. You really need to focus on 1 or 2 strategies for the next 30 days to really see any results, because what's going to happen is you're going to feel information overload, and you're going to start feeling confused. And what does a confused mind always, always, always say? It always says no. A confused mind says no. So you don't want to do that because it will delay your progress. It will delay your success. So you want to make sure that you focus on two. I would actually pick, for me, and what I usually start people off with is Facebook marketing, and also blogging. Okay, because setting up that central hub to me is very critical, somewhere where people can actually find you and learn about you. It will help you with everything that you do, whether it's offline marketing, online marketing, whatever it is. And then also for, just a simple strategy, a way to get quick leads, a paid method right here is solo ads, which will get you some really quick leads. And if you're on my team, feel free to ask me for my solo ad provider lists. There is a little bit of strategy behind solo ads because you can lose a lot of money in them, and I have, if you're not careful and you don't know what you're doing. So you want to make sure that if you're on my team, you get with me about that so I can actually set you up the right way and guide you the right way so you don't make any mistakes and you don't lose any money, okay? So that's really it. But as a bonus, I want to share with you something that I have been doing in my business, probably starting since October, is I've started a progress report. So literally what I do every single day is I write down my progress. Like yesterday I got 35 leads. So I wrote down 35 leads in my business. Now that's not what I normally like to get. Like for me, 50 leads a day is a really, really good thing. And oftentimes that's where I'm at, but any progress in my business. So I write down that I got 35 leads today. I got, 50 new followers on Twitter. I connected with 15 people about my business or talked to 15 people on Facebook, whatever it was. And I truly, I'll sit there and I will write down my progress. And it really just helps me look for where I need to improve, and it also gives me a sense of accomplishment, which for me, before I started doing this, I kept feeling unaccomplished, like maybe I wasn't doing things that I really needed to do in my business to move it forward. And a lot of times my students will come to me and say, well, I got this many leads, or they won't even say what they got. They said, well, nobody signed up. And it's like, well, how many leads did you get from that strategy? Did you get any leads? And then they'll say, well, yeah, I got about 75, because maybe it was a solo ad or whatever it was. Well, that is huge, okay? That is huge progress because most people are not going to buy from you the first time they see your offer. So, having them plugged into that autoresponder and on your list, that's the real goal. Gold, really. I mean, that's the gold, okay? Is actually getting them on your list and as a prospect that you can actually, give pure value to, which is another thing I should have probably mentioned because I'm giving you all these tips and I just ramble on. But make sure that you're producing some form of valuable content every day, whether it be a video, an audio on SoundCloud, a blog post, inspirational quotes on Facebook, Twitter. Just make sure that you're providing value to people. If it's not valuable and it's not going to benefit somebody and help them, then don't bother sharing it. Don't just say, you need to join MLSP or you need to join whatever your primary company is. Today, fast action bonuses, we're paying you $1,000 to lose this amount of weight. That stuff does not work. Nobody cares about that. What they care about is how you're going to help them and the value that you contribute to them, okay? That's so critically important. And I also gave you, in my post, I gave you an ebook or a book that's called Magnetic Sponsoring. And I actually just finished reading it again. And I tend to start my year off this way, reading this book. I always, it's on my nightstand and I read it over and over again. I just always gain something different out of it, So for me, it's something that I definitely recommend to anybody that's really trying to excel and actually become the hunted in their business instead of the hunter, and actually start really effectively generating leads, effectively prospecting in their business. It's critical to anybody's success. So if you want to know really where I finally had that switch, that light bulb turn off, it was with that book. So I highly recommend it. Okay. And with that being said, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave me your feedback below. I'd love to hear, any success that you've had with MLSP, any daily activities that really help you in your business, questions that you might have, feelings that maybe you're feeling right now. Maybe I resonated with you in sharing my story. Maybe you have a similar story. I'd love to hear your story. I absolutely love it. It's what inspires me and keeps me moving forward in my business, is to know that I'm actually touching other people's lives. So please feel free to share it with me, and I will see you on the next post. Bye for now.